It was Ryback and Daniel Puder and those guys.
Yeah.
And you two stood like in the corner, and they had to get something.
They had to get a flag out of the corner. They had to get past us. Let me touch on that story. You know, a couple of weeks before that, a couple of their big $1 million stars had gotten embarrassed. You know, with these Tough Enough kids. Big Show did that body slam challenge, and he went out there, and these kids were getting slammed, popping straight up. You know, and he made him look bad.
Pewter and Kurt Angle had that deal too, or whatever.
Well, yeah. Pewter and the Pewter, you know, key locked Angle, but in Angle's, you know, and they wore him out. But in Angle's defense, he had that pinched nerve in his neck, and he only had 50% strength in his left arm, or whatever. I think his left arm, because if it wouldn't have been for that, Pewter would have never even came close. Because Kurt Angle he's a stud. He was a stud. But still, that embarrassed, you know, one of our $1 million guys. One of these guys had him, key locked him. And so, and then a couple of weeks, they went by, they did some stuff with the women and whatever. Then they threw me and Danny out there. We were just kind of on the shelf, you know, going and working. We didn't give a shit. As long as we were working, putting people over, going, it didn't matter to us. We were working, doing what we love to do. You know, pay us, pay me. We didn't give two shits. We were out there working. So they put us out there for this, and it was kind of hinted that, you know, this is their big moment. They you know, we're going to throw these guys out there. If they get embarrassed, we can just fire them, and we can put two other people out there. So Vince, whenever you would go through before the show, TV would air and all that.
Wait a second. So they're talking about you. They could just fire you. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I was expendable. Me and Danny are expendable.
Gotcha.
We're replaceable. You know, we're dime a dozen guys, a whole bunch of guys like us. So Bill DeMott was back there, you know, stirring the pot with us a little bit, going, you know, if you guys don't produce, you know, you're probably going to get fired. And we were like, okay.
Wow.
So we're in the ring before the show starts and all that, and Vince is in the ring, and they're walking through the segment. And you got the Tough Enough kids, so they'll know what to do when they come out. And then the Tough Enough kids go back to the back, and we're done. And Vince grabs me and Danny and pulls us in the center of the ring, and he goes, "Well, guys, you see that flag over there?" We go, "Yeah." "You see what that emblem is on that turnbuckle?" We go, "WW, yeah, WWE." He goes, "That's what you're representing tonight. Short of killing anybody or putting them in the hospital, don't let them get that flag." Pop on the side of the shoulder and walked off.
Oh my God.
So Danny, we just been put on notice.
Holy shit. That might be the best.
We said nobody is getting that flag. And if we have to put him in the hospital, we will.
That might be the best story so far we've ever heard on here. So then get into the actual thing. I mean, I just watched it. So what?
Well, me and Danny had a game plan. You know, Danny went high, I went low. We with each one of these kids, because God dang, they were a couple of them were strong as hell.
Yeah, there's some big boys.
The Miz was super easy. He was weak. The other Justice, the black guy, he was super easy. Rodeheimer, the big tall block, that guy was a hoss.
Yep.
Ryback, that guy was a hoss. And then, you know, Rip, you just right, and both of you know, for wrestling, all this is just for show. It's really not for go. It's cosmetic. It's aesthetic, not like the UFC or, you know, where you built in amateur wrestling. Your muscles are trained to stay flex and tight. We're holding these guys down, and we're getting blown up. And then they're telling us, hurry. And we're like, I got to breathe. My arms are like noodles. And the reason Daniel Puder got as close to the flag as he did is because they were rushing us. Kevin Dunn was in the truck up there going, hurry up. And we're sitting there trying to catch our wind and just trying to loosen up because we were spent. And Daniel Puder almost got the flag because me and Danny, we were toast. We were done.
And he was like last, wasn't he?
He was last. Yeah. And he's about 6'2". He's a pretty big kid too. He was strong. Strong.
I mean, if you know anything about it, whoever's going at the end is going to definitely have the advantage.
Especially after expending ourselves on those two other big sons of bitches, man. They were strong. And then me and Danny, with Puder, I think Danny, he had him like a front face, and I had him in an ankle or something like that, and we were not going to let go. All we got to do is hold on. But the only reason he got as close as he did is because we were gassed. We were done.
That's all. Yeah, I figured so. I just watched it. I mean, there was a couple times that Danny just had. I mean, he had the dude, and he was just hanging on for dear life. And a couple times he wrapped his legs, around up at the top, and had the art, and just you could tell was
Well,
just
that
hanging on.
if you go back and watch, Danny, he was the one who wrapped his legs around, and Danny grabbed him by the hair, and he pulled out a whole chunk of his hair.
Did he really?
Like that, because he wasn't going to let go. I was like,
Yeah.
because that kid, he put his head down and did a football stance and ran at us, and he broke Danny's orbital bone, and he hit my jaw and broke one of my teeth. You know, at the end, you can see how my mouth was bleeding because he busted my mouth open because of that guy there, man. And we were like, what the fuck? Like, dude, it was a 100% shoot, man.
So what was it like going back after into the dressing room? Anybody say anything to you? Vince say anything to you?
We got a lot of respect from the boys, a lot of respect, because we represented, and even Vince and the Undertaker and JBL went to Vince and said this, because the Undertaker, when we were done, I walked through and I was sitting down, I was waiting for Danny, he was getting dressed, and the Undertaker saw me and he come up, and the Undertaker, which I was like, he comes up and he shook his hand, he goes, "You did a hell of a job tonight, kid. Congratulations." And then he walked off, and I went, "Wow, that's huge coming from the take." And then we got a Taker, and JBL went to Vince and said, "You know, we need to reward those guys because they did what our $1 Million Stars couldn't do. They represented the company." And that's when we got to put with the cabinet with JBL, and we got to work with all the top stars then.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we damn near got killed, but we got rewarded. we made a lot of money. We made
big gold and a billfold, so swole that I can't get the shit closed. So I money fold and rubber band wrap, and when it